Hey guys, Voids here once again with another video. Playing some more 1 cent, 2 cent Club WPT Gold. Just try and grind away at these micro stakes poker. Just trying to build a bankroll, see how far I can get with playing 1 cent, 2 cent before I have to move up. For the first hand of the night, I got Queen Jack offsuit in the undergun position. I'm gonna raise it up and get call 3 ways. I'm gonna re-raise the flop. Flop to Jack by 7. I get re-raise immediately, which is kind of scary. Might have King Jack, Ace Jack, maybe has a flush draw. But I don't think I can fold top pair just yet. So I put in the call. Next comes the King of Diamonds, putting 2 flush draws on the board. I'm gonna check it through because I think the King might hit his range, so might have a higher pair, maybe has 2 pair. But he checks it back. Maybe he's playing a little slow, so that's what's in my head. I'm a little scared right here. Uh, the river's a blank, but he was just trying to bluff me off with the 7. So decent start, to win a little bit, but I feel like I left money on the board right there. So hopefully next time I'll be able to read that better. He's just trying to bluff me. After that, I got Queen 10 offsuit in the button. I'm gonna raise it up since it limped around me and get 3 way called. Flop comes Queen King 8. So I flop top second pair. Uh, third best kick, fourth best kicker. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna re-raise it. Hopefully, get these guys off of their sewer connectors or anything like that. And that's exactly what happens. And win the second part of the night. Always a good start when you start off with a couple of wins. After that, I get Queen Jack right here in the big blind. Looks like it's about to limp back around to me. Seems like a lot of limpers tonight for some reason. And it does. So I'm gonna raise it up, maybe a little bigger than what I usually do, just to try to punish these limpers and get them out of the way. You never want to go multi ways to the flop. It's always harder and trickier to play like that, so you always want to go heads up with people. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen. All the limpers call. So right here, I'm just trying to think like why would they all limp in? They all call a decent sized bet. So I'm gonna go kind of large right here. Just try to scare some of you guys away. Maybe they have flush draws. Maybe they have some type of silver connectors. Maybe they have a ace deuce in their hand. Maybe they have like a king 7, like spades or clubs, just try and charge them. Um, a couple of them get out of the way, fold out, and now here comes a 5, pairing the board, so I improve to 2 pair. And right here, I think I have best hand. If they have some type of pair, maybe they'll still be in their hand, but I don't think that's very likely. Oh, but then right here, I actually get re-raised really big for 3x, and he actually has 3 of a kind, and he hits a flush draw. So I was there, right there. And let's say all that progress we made with the last hand just went down the drain. That's one of my problems that I have in my gameplay. I don't really put people on sets too often for some reason. I never had the thought of them having any type of pairs for some reason. I gotta get better at that. I'm gonna try to work on that more when I'm trying to put down and guess someone's range and stuff like that. But moving on to the next hand, I'm in under gun +1 position. I'm gonna call the raise for under the gun. This hand's not strong enough to 3 bet or anything, so I'm just gonna call. Especially given there's people behind me left to act. The flop comes 8-10 ace with 2 clubs, and undergun actually decides to go all in. I'm just gonna fold. I do have a straight draw on the board, but like just given that and he went all in, I don't think I could call. Maybe he has a flush draw. He has 2 overcards, and it's exactly what he does. He has kings. If I called, I would have lost either way. So very unfortunate right there. On to the next hand, I have ace 8 in under the gun. I'm gonna raise it up. The only reason I'm raising up this hand is because I still want to increase my pre-flop raises. It's still only at 14%. Just want to get involved in a couple of hands. If the flop doesn't come out good, I'll just end up folding it. And I know I'm throwing away the 6 hands, but it is what it is. Just to try and improve my stats right there. So far, we get 1 caller, and then two. We actually get 3 callers, so we're forward to the flop. Flop comes 7 queen 7 all rainbow, not the best, so I'm just gonna check it through. And then here comes the ace of hearts. I hit top pair. okay kicker. Since I had top pair, everyone checked it through. I'm gonna put it in a bet. I'm just gonna stab in the dark. Hopefully this ace scares everyone away. It scares mostly everyone except one person. Next comes the three of clubs, so no fresh draws get there. I'm just gonna charge this guy a prepay to continue the hand, and that gets the job done. The fold. Couple orbits go by, was card dead for a little bit. And then I'm looking at ace queen in the button. Since it limped around to me, I'm just gonna put in a pretty big raise. Hopefully get all these limpers out the way. I don't really think they could be too strong unless they're super slow playing their hands, but that usually doesn't happen, especially in these type of low stakes. I even went bigger than what I usually go if I had aces or kings. The flop comes 5-7 queens, so I flop top pair, best kicker. I'm gonna keep the aggression going. Hopefully, I charge these guys too much and they'll fold around since they're a decent little pot brewing. We get one fold and get the other two call. Next comes a deuce of clubs, so now there's a flush draw on the board. I'm gonna keep my aggression going, charge these guys to get out of here since I have a top pair, which works with one. So now the pot's getting pretty large for micro stakes down here, and I get re-raised to $1. So he min clicked it. So I'm just trying to figure out what could he be doing this with. Is he really just playing like slow aces? I don't think so. Maybe he has a flush draw and just trying to scare me away. Maybe he has some type of straight draw, but I doubt he'll be in the hand with something like 6-8, and he has 4 jack. So he's just trying to bluff me off, and I take that one down, which is weird. He kind of just punted that away, in my opinion. After that, I have pocket sevens. I'm just gonna call the bet. No need to put in a raise or anything or a re-raise. I could have right here, just to try to represent. I have one of those top hands. Hopefully, you go heads up and take it down pre-flop. But as it works its way around to the original raiser, hopefully we just don't get 3-bet. If it does, we're out of this hand. We're gonna have to fold away. This hand's not strong enough. But it doesn't. And I'm first at right here on a board that comes 4-5-9. I might be ahead right here unless someone has something like pocket tens, maybe has eights. He might have pocket nines, honestly, the pre-flop raiser. So I'm just gonna check it. If people raise it large, which they do right here, I don't know if I can necessarily continue. I'm just gonna go ahead check his stats. He's kind of new. He puts in a lot of money in the pot, so this kind of just weighing in my decision. I'm just trying to mull over. And I also have one more person behind me left to act. I'm gonna put in the call just based off his stats. He was 62%. He's always putting money into the pot, and also he didn't re-raise the pot when it worked around to him in the pre-flop. And now here comes another 9, which is good. Improves me a 2 pair. So I'm like 70% sure I have best hand right here. I thought maybe when he raises up that high, maybe he had a set like pocket nines, but obviously that's not on the board. And now the guy after me decides to donk bet, so I'm just gonna put in the call. And unfortunately, a jack comes on the river, so scary. They can actually hit their ranges, but like, would they really be doing this with like jack 9? Maybe. I don't know. Why would they be going so big on the Turner River? So it just checks through, and he had pocket ace, which is one of the hands I had him during the flop. But just the way they were playing it just had me get off that hand. Unfortunately, I lose that one. Next, we come around to another pocket pair. We got pocket fives in the small blind. I'm gonna raise it up, and the flop comes 4-9-9. So I have 2 pair. I should be ahead most of the time right here, especially since I'm playing heads up. It's a lot easier to navigate. I'm gonna keep the aggression going with a little 10-cent bet right here, just waiting on him. He puts in the call, so now here comes a 10. Obviously, there's a flush draw out there. If he has a 9, he's ahead of me. The 10 could easily hit his range. He can have Jack 10, Queen 10, stuff like that. It's in the cutoff. and he puts in the call. And next comes a king of spades. So obviously there's one to the flush, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna represent. Yeah, I hit my flush draw right here since I raised the turn, and now I'm raising the river kind of large. But he puts in the call, and he has me beat with 5-10. So far my reads today aren't doing the best. I'll get better at that today. But that's how poker goes. Some days you're gonna have good reads, some days you're gonna have bad reads, some days you're gonna lose your all ins, other days you're gonna win your all ins. That's just how the game works, you know. As cliche as it sounds, you can't really go on tilt because sometimes when you're playing poker, you can play with emotions. You just gotta be able to make the right decisions. You can't let your emotions sway you in what you're doing. It's okay, you know, as long as you know you can play with your mind in the game, that's all that matters. So right here I got Jack 10. I raise it up pre-flop and I get 3 bet to 10 cents. I'm just gonna put in a call since it's not that big of a raise. You know, 4 cents is 4 cents. The flop comes 10 with two tens and two hearts, so I'm in a really good position right here. I flop a set, and so far it checks around to me, and I'm gonna put in the raise. Hopefully, get some of these guys out of there. Maybe they're just banging with some overcards or something like that. But we get one guy to fold, we get a caller, and we get a re-raiser to 62 cents. So I'm just gonna put them all in. I feel like I'm in a very good position. Maybe they have a flush draw on the board. I just hope we fade the flush, fade a heart. So I'm pretty sure, you know, they have aces, kings. They'll probably put in like the 3 bet, so I should be ahead of those draws, unless they have something like ace 10, king 10. But I don't think they'll be 3 betting, re-raising like that. And probably one of the worst cards in the deck for me, which is another heart. So obviously puts flush draws out there. So since I'm already all in, I have to watch the rest of his hand play out. And then the guy after me goes huge on the turn, and looks he has a king queen flush draw. So there goes that hand. I lost it all in. Nothing I could really do. I felt I was in a really good position since I flopped the set and kind of checked through. But that's what happens when you play poker from time to time. Next, I have pocket tens right here. I'm gonna raise it up and get one guy to call. Flop comes 8-9-8. So I'm in a good spot. I have top pair. And now another flush draw comes on the board with the 5. So I have a 10 of diamonds in my hand. I have a top pair. So I'm just going to keep raising. He's going to snap call me. Seems like he's snap calling me every single street. So I'm just going to check it through. And he has 3 of a kind. You know, so now I'm losing a couple of hands in a row. It's alright. Like I said, like you win some, you lose some, you win big, you lose big. I just, you know, gotta control everything what I can control. After that, I have Ace Jack in the big blind. We get kind of a big caller right here, or big raiser to 10 cents. Usually people don't raise that high unless they have like made cards. They have like queens, kings, aces, jacks. But I'm just gonna put in the call. You know, I have a relatively good hand. The flop comes 6-2-10 with 2 spades, and I have the ace of spades in my hand. Hopefully that doesn't have to get there with the flush draw, but I'm just gonna check through. He checks it back. Turn comes a queen, and now I'm one away from a straight. But I'm just gonna keep checking since he was a pre-flop raiser. You know, maybe he'll start stabbing into it, but maybe he'll just try to do that just to get everyone to fold out. I don't know. We just gotta see. So I'm trying to think like what would he be playing this hand? Maybe he hit a queen. Maybe he has something like king queen. Um, I think since I was losing a couple pots, you know, I just decided to put in. Hopefully, I hit something on the river, which I do. I hit an ace. I have top pair right here. Maybe I think he has king queen right here. That's what I'm thinking right now. So I'm just gonna check it to him, see what he does. Maybe I'll re-raise him, or maybe he'll just check through with like not a good holding. And he does check through, and he does have king queen. So I take it down with the top pair right there. Although I won that hand, I'm officially down the session. Usually I max buy in for the top amount, which is 4 cents, $4.01, 2 cents. And then I usually rebuy if I lose everything to $2. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 rebuys. So unfortunately, like I said earlier, you can't win them all. Some days you're gonna have losing days, and this looks like one of those days. My next hand, I had King Jack right here. I'm just gonna call it initial raise, and the flop comes 4, 9, 10, all diamonds. So I don't hit anything, but I'm one away from the flush. It looks like it might check all the way through. I think people are just afraid that someone might hit a flush right there. So which is exactly what it does. I'm debating putting money in, but I just decided to check it through as well. And here comes the queen of diamonds as well. So I hit my flush. There's only one two cards in the deck that beat me, but it also puts a potential straight flush on the board. If someone has actually no, it doesn't. Now I'm looking back at it. That's what I thought in the meantime, but I had the jack in my hand, the jack of diamonds. So I'm gonna start betting. Like I said, there's only two cards in the deck that beats me. Is the king of diamonds and the ace of diamonds. I put in a little 12-cent bet. I get one caller, I get one person to fold, I get another person to fold, and now we're three ways to the river. And thankfully, I'm last to act right here. They both check it to me. I'm gonna go with a rather big bet, just to maybe look like I'm bluffing, and hopefully I get like a big caller, and hopefully you get paid the maximum. And that's exactly what happens. The guy has a seven of diamonds, but I had the jack, so I take that one down. A nice little recoup from what I've been losing. Now I'm back. I'm back on my way to trying to get positive, and little by little, everything counts. After that, I get King 10 of clubs. I like my suited Ace X, King X, so King 10 marginal hand, but a little better improved when it's suited like this. I'm gonna raise it up. Button's gonna call, and now the person before me also calls, and the flop comes Jack 3 Ace with two spades, one club. I have a backdoor flush draw. I have a straight draw, but obviously aces can easily hit either one of these guys' range since they called a bet. One guy folds, and I'm just gonna put in the call right here. And now the 6 o'clock comes, so I'm still have a straight draw. I have a flush draw on the board. But I'm pretty sure he has an ace, especially since he went about half pot. I'm gonna put in and hope I hit one of my many outs, but unfortunately I don't. And he goes big again. I'm just gonna have to fold it away. I don't reveal his hand because I'm like 99% positive that he had ace in his hand. So the money I made in the two hands ago, I kind of just lost half of it. It just seems like one of those nights where I'm not really gonna be able to recoup, but it's okay. After that hand, I get ace jack once again. It limps around to one person. He puts in the raise. I'm just checking his stats because he was rather new to the table, but he's also kind of been winning. Hasn't been here too long, but he's been winning a bit. So I just check his stats to see like if he puts in a lot pre-flop, and not necessarily. As much as it pains to fold like ace two Broadway cards, ace jack, I'm gonna have to lay this one down, and just to see how this one plays out. The flop comes 4, 5, 9, and the turn comes a eight of diamonds. So far, if I would have been in this hand, I would have hit nothing, and I don't think I would have been the aggressor given that the person raised so large. After that, the river comes at seven of diamonds, and the guy that initially raised it had the straight, so I guess it was a really good lay. That's also very important. Pokers know when to fold. Sometimes we always want to, oh, maybe we'll hit this, maybe we'll hit that, but you gotta learn how to fold. Even when you have good hands, like maybe they just got it. Just an example right there, they had a straight compared to my ace high. But nonetheless, next hand right here, I'm on the button, ace 10. Since I'm the button, I'm putting the call. I have the range advantage. I have last to act and everything like that. And the flop comes 2, 3 ace, so I flop top pair, which is good. Maybe they have a ace in their hand. Maybe they have like something like king queen. Maybe they have like pocket sevens, pocket eights, and stuff like that. So I might be in good position right here. So the person behind me actually decides to put in money. Yeah, I'm just gonna call given that I have top pair. Now the turn comes a six of hearts, and now the person puts actually just checks it through, and I'm gonna check it as well. The river comes another ace, so I'm 99% sure I have best hand right here, given that I have a set. There's no flushes. Maybe he might have a bigger ace, but he decides to check it. So I'm gonna try to get as much value as possible. I'm gonna go about half pot, a little bit under, and he snap calls, but he has pocket fours, and my set takes it down. So a little good way to end the session. Obviously it wasn't the best session. I lost most of my money right there. But for all my videos, I think this is the worst one so far. So not bad. Losing session out of like four. So I'll take that one. I'll take that. So, but thank you guys once again for making it to the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and see you in the next one. Later, guys.